Stan Jabalisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV, Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations. A number of viewers have asked me how they can resolve their RF in the shack problems. One in particular gave me a bunch of design parameters and I guess expected me to engineer or help engineer an antenna that would not cause RFI. And for solutions like that, I can offer possibilities, but I can only definitively address problems like that by being on site. And sometimes problems like that can defy all efforts to get rid of them, all except one, which I will outline in just a second. And the outline is very simple. Sometimes you can design an antenna according to all of the perfect parameters and still have RF in the shack problems. Commonly, RF in the shack may manifest as getting burned off the chassis of your radio, having various computer malfunctions in your radio, or to devices attached to your radio, such as keyers and things like that. RF in the shack can be a pesky and annoying problem, and sometimes virtually impossible to eliminate, like certain other kinds of pests in various parts of the world. But there's one solution that always works. It always works. And that solution is QRP. If you reduce your power below a certain threshold point, your transmitter output power, you will no longer have problems with the RF that does exist in your shack. At least it will not disrupt the operation of peripheral equipment, and will also be far less likely to cause havoc with appliances in your house and neighbors' houses. I find that if I reduce my power to less than 10 or 15 watts, I guess true QRP is less than 5 watts. But if you reduce your power that far, even the EMI or the RF in the shack problems that you may have will be obliterated by the fact that the RF is simply not strong enough to cause trouble. It's like being exposed to one bacterium of some deadly disease. One isn't enough to cause the disease. In fact, well, I'll get into that some other time, but I just wanted to offer that as an often overlooked solution, quote unquote, to RF in the shack problems. It won't really get rid of the RF that does exist in your shack, but it will attenuate it to such a degree that it can't make problems for you anymore. I characteristically run 10 watts output on CW and 7 watts output on PSK because it's a 100% duty cycle. And I have never yet experienced a complaint from a neighbor or a disruption of any other operating device in my house or peripheral to my radio. I don't even know if I have RF in the shack, because if I do, it's so weak that it doesn't even show up. So consider that as one possible solution to problems you may have with stubborn cases of RF in the shack. Stan Jabalisco, W1GV, saying 73. And so long, which, whatever power level you use, in my native fist, always translates to So long, da 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 da.